recording. So, ladies, you can put yourself on mute, and we have flipped it it's not in a long time that we did it, but everything happens for a reason. We're gonna start off with Val, and then we're gonna do a 5 minute in betweener with Jezreel, and then our beautiful Gideon will conclude our session. So let me just mute everyone. There you are. So thank you so much for coming through. Val, yesterday we had an amazing show on a TV show, and you had only 1 week to do that for me. I was over the moon. You know, I believe everything happens for the reason. And you and Yaki have touched so many people's life. I got so many calls yesterday. It's unbelievable. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for inspiring us today. And I know I'm going to be a little bit tearful, but you know, the work that you are doing and you have started with your journey in 1993 is truly amazing. How you tell the story of one person that went through, I don't even want to say hell because we don't have a clue how it was. We cannot even step into Len's shoes. But the way that you portrayed it and his forgiveness was for me, I was thinking of it the whole time. So please inspire us, my beautiful one, and thank you for all that you are doing. All over to you.
Thank you, Sanet. I was given a gift, and that gift was meeting all these World War II prisoners of war, and they have changed my life. And so today, I hope what I can share about two men's stories can help you decide what success means to you. I want you to, I really want you to decide if it's a six-figure income, if it's stardom, or if you're doing fulfilling work, or if you just want to be a grandma and be the best grandma ever. I think that is success. You know, I think we're all looking for something, and none of us have the same goals. So, what that means is you guys are going to have to dig deep. You're going to have to look at what you want and start moving towards that. Sometimes it's little footsteps that all of a sudden allow you to take a leap. Sometimes it's just being in the right place, meeting the right people, reaching out to the right person. But pay attention. I had a gap in my life in 1993 where my uncle wanted to take a group of World War II POWs back to the camp. And if I did the marketing materials, I would get to go. I had a free trip to Europe. That's all I wanted. But then these people, after sending letters out, started calling about the trip, and they shared with me such intimate stories. And I learned so much that it changed my life, and I took another path for sure. So, the first story I want to tell you about is a gentleman that I met, and I didn't really know if I wanted to know him because I don't know, physically, I just wasn't sure about him. And yet, I reached out to him. We went to his home, and I loved this man. I was so sad when we lost him because he gave me so much. He was shot down out of a B-17 American bomber on October 14th, 1943. He came down really hard in his parachute. He hit the ground hard. He was drugged underneath a wagon. He hit his back while he was being drugged under the wagon and damaged it permanently. Immediately, there were the home guard. They drug him out from under that cart. They made him go over to a ditch, and he put his hands behind his head. He got down on his knees, and they were going to execute him. He was out in a field in this ditch when all of a sudden someone started screaming at the home guard. And when he looked up, there was a farmer, a young boy, and a team of horses. Well, the home guard, they turned their ire on this farmer. And instead of executing Jack, two of those home guard marched him down the road at gunpoint. You know, Jack always wondered what happened to him. He went to a prison. He then went to a prison camp, and he was there for a very long time. I think it was 400 and some days he was in POW camp. And then they were forced march in the in the coldest weather on record in Europe. And they marched for 3 days, 60 some miles, and then were trained down south to another prison camp that was built for 40,000 people. And it had 130,000 people in it. It was a hellhole. They were starved, they were cold, they had bed bugs, lice, and fleas. They were so embarrassed of their filth because they hadn't bathed for 3 months, but there was little they could do about it. One day on the 29th of April in 1945, General Patton, an American general, came in. The tanks went right through the front gates of the prison camp. There were Nazi flags in the camp, and they were all, wavering in the wind. And all of a sudden, those came down and they raised the American flag. My uncle said he turned around and he saw 10,000 people cry. An Irishman said to one of the POWs, says, "I hope you think me not unpatriotic, but that's the damnedest, most beautiful flag I've ever seen." Upon their liberation, there were Iowans who had liberated them, and they asked Jack to go with them. He didn't know what for, but they said, "You've got to see this. In order to believe what happened here, you have got to go see this." And they took him to Dachau. Dachau was the first concentration camp built by the Nazis simply to house gay people, priests, Christians, Catholics, and political people that they did not like. They murdered them, they beat them, they worked them to death. It was horrific. And when Jack got there, he saw all these skeletons, these poor people. They couldn't give them food because it would have made them die. And so instead, he just was testimony to that. When we went back to Europe in 1945, or excuse me, 1995, we went back to Dachau, and I was walking with Jack and his wife, and he was crying. And I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "They took the smell away. You can't imagine what happened here unless you can smell it." And, I got to know him. I have a huge file on him, and I even inherited his standard poodle, which was a gift from him before or after his wife died. But he said to me, "You couldn't give me $1 million to do that again. Or could you give me $1 million to take that away from me? Because it was so impactful." Jack was determined to be a teacher. He and his wife never had children, and he spent all his years as a teacher, as a principal, as an administrator for young people. He and his wife didn't have children, it was a young man or always a fellow who was one of his students or knew him well. They took him to the doctor miles and miles away. And he had an executor of his will who I got to meet before before Lamar died. And he was a young man as well. When Lamar died, Jack had already died earlier. His executor called and he said, "Val, Jack always said he would never be hungry again. There was over 1,000 pounds of food in his basement." Now that was success, food in his basement and becoming an educator. So to him, it wasn't all the flashy, bright lights and all that important stuff, but it was really about helping people. The second story I'm going to tell you is about a man named Bill Grafton. He was 17 and brilliant in school, a straight A student, but he had to quit school before his 18th birthday, or he would have been drafted into the Army. And those guys ended up on the front lines, and Bill had something better for his life. His success was not being on the front lines of World War II. He quit a week before his 18th birthday and joined the United States Army Air Corps. He went through all the bells and whistles. He was a top turret gunner and an engineer for B-17s. On his 18th mission, he was shot down. Now, I don't know if any of you understand what being on a bombing mission in Europe during World War II. These men had 4 fears. They were afraid of the pilots who flew the planes that the Germans had because they were so good. They had so much experience. They were terrified by the aircraft because they were so good. They were just incredible. They were afraid of the flak. There were guns that they shot these mortars up into the air and it would break apart. Some of them would have 300 holes in their planes from the flak hitting their aircraft. And then they were afraid of the temperatures. They flew at 22 to 30,000 feet. And it was it could be 20 up to 60 below zero. And they had to wear oxygen masks and they had to wear clothing that kept them warm, which most of the time did not work. Bill Grafton went down on his 18th mission. He was captured, became a POW, and was in a prison camp. When he got back from prison camp, he went to the University of Alabama and said, I want an aeronautic engineering degree. Well, they said, you've got to take a test. He said, no problem. And so he did. He passed, he finished his degree. I think he went on to get a master's and a PhD, and he went to work for an agency called NASA. He worked with the rocket scientists who came over from Germany, like Werner von Braun, Magnus von Braun, Arthur Rudolph. He also worked on the moon landing and a number of other rockets and spacecraft issues. He told me the story that when they landed on the moon, the astronauts with their big backpacks, one of them turned and broke the switch off that turned on the Eagle lander. And they didn't know how they would get that lander off the moon and get those men home. Can you imagine what would have happened if that had not occurred? The country of the United States might not even exist, or at least the space program. All of the things that we've done to get people off of this planet, it could have changed everything. They all were working really, really hard, and they did their moonwalk and all of that stuff. And they analyzed everything the astronauts had. One of them had a ballpoint pen. And in the 60s, they were always made out of metal. So they took the inside out, they put it back together, and they were able to push very hard and start the Eagle lander. Now that was success, because success had to be the option. Failure was not. Failure simply was not. And for Bill, he worked there for years and he loved it. And he just cherished all of those moments. So I give you those two stories because I think it gives you an opportunity to look at varieties of success and to also hear a little bit of history. I think that's a fascinating story, the moon story. So success to me today is educating you about World War II POWs, having an audience that even is interested in those stories. And what I say to you, what is your ideal success? Really put the time into it, or look for something to come your way that you go, oh my gosh, I've got to do it. Because you know what? It may change your life for the better, and you may have the most successful one ever. Thank you.
Wow. Well, beautiful. Gideon, do you want to say something? Wow, it was amazing.
Oh, that's amazing. You know, it just comes to show you that success comes in so many different ways and so many different forms, and means so many different things for so many different people. So I think if we have 1,000 people, at least, you know, out of the 1,000 people, there will be 10,000 different definitions of what exactly success might be. And everybody in every situation has got a unique experience and a unique way of sharing their success and sharing their experience. So it really is great. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank you all for listening.
Wow, well, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. I do think you must. I think you are coming back for 5 minutes, but I think we must bring you more back. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I think we must do something. Me and you. I don't know what, but I will actually let God, because He always provide and do the things that I never would have imagined. So, my beautiful Val, I know that you are going to do a course. So, thank you so much for being with us. And you are going to look at the recording. So, I just want to say thank you so much. And you must have a beautiful day. And please look after yourself. Thank you. So my beautiful ladies, there were quite a lot of people that said are coming. I had on my YouTube on my WhatsApp, I think I had 7 ladies from South Africa to say, Sanet, the power is off too long. They don't have any power. They will look at the recording. So although my beautiful Jazri and Gideon, there's not a lot of ladies on here. There's a lot of ladies that would love to be here, but they definitely will watch the recording. So thank you so much for being here. Jazri, my fire walking queen, I see that you did a talk this week on self-love. I am truly proud of you. And you also did your master's in NLP and life coaching. You are amazing. I'm very proud of you. So I will give it all over to you. Thank you, my beautiful one.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanet. I can't put into words how much you've changed my life and inspired me to finish. And I took the day off, for those of you who don't know, on my birthday to complete that exam, because I told myself, if Sanet can do it, I can do it. I have no excuses. So thank you for having me, Sanet. You know, I watched your show last night, the one with Val and Yaki, and I was sitting today and trying to put together something to say to everybody, and I just could not forget what I heard yesterday. I am so deeply, deeply humbled by it. And if you haven't already, or you haven't had the opportunity to, please go and view that recording, because I was behaving rather childishly on Friday, and I was sad and very upset that nothing was going my way. And then I heard Sunday's message, and I thought, goodness, stop acting like a spoiled brat, because, you know, we always think our problems or our problems and our challenges are worse than the other, until you hear what other people have been through. And I'm still in awe of the resilience in it. Don't want to get too emotional, but I put together a message that I would have liked to have heard when I was in my early 20s, you know, starting off life. And I wish somebody had told me. And it's exactly what Val spoke about, and Gideon as well, in that, you know, when it comes to success, the reality is that what is success is different to everybody. Success is a deeply personal and subjective concept that means something different to each one of us, regardless of how we define success. There is one thing we can all agree on, and that is success is not easy. No, it requires hard work, determination, resilience. It requires the willingness to take risks, to face failure, and to learn from our mistakes. It requires the ability to stay focused and to keep going when things get tough, because it's easy to give up and just throw your hands in the air and, you know, I've had enough. And to believe in ourselves, even when others doubt us, especially when others doubt us. For me, success is not a destination. It is a journey. Now, I looked at my life and I thought about, what do I define as success? And so many of us are living or looking for success in our parents' expectations of us. Maybe our parents' failed dreams that we're now, that have been imposed on us, and we're trying to achieve it. Culture, society. So what is success, and what is actually driving that success? Is it something that you really, really want? A quote that really stands out for me when it comes to success is one from Nelson Mandela. And I'm going to read the quote. I've made a note. And he said, this is the quote: "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." Now, this quote is powerful because it is a reminder that success is not just about being fearless, but it's about having the courage to face our fears and overcome them, pushing through our doubts and our insecurities and our perceived limitations or limiting assumptions, and finding that strength within to achieve your goal no matter what. And that goal can shift. It's okay. So to end off, and my parting message is, it's success is not reserved for a select few. And I used to think that. I used to think God favored some and didn't the others. And I was one of those ones who, God didn't favor, but my life now is testament to what, and I'm going to say it for me, ignorant thinking that was. So success is available to anybody who is willing to put in the work and make the necessary sacrifices. So it's a small example from my side, but if I look back on writing, so I passed the bar on the first go, but when I studied for it, on Christmas Day, I was studying because I knew that it wasn't permanent. It was a sacrifice for a long-term gain. And I am so glad that I did that. It was a gift to myself. So success is a state of mind that we must cultivate by anybody who is willing to achieve success and be courageous. So take that first step. Keep moving forward. Believe in yourself and never give up on your dreams. Success is waiting for you, and with the right mindset, you will achieve it. And thank you, Sanet, because I use the vision board and it is, when I close my eyes, I can see it. So thank you. That's just my message. And I hope I will share my story with you, through other sessions with Sanet, but that's just my little message for you today. Thank you.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. And
Thank
when
you.
we did that fire, you looked at that fire and you said, Sinead, will I be able to go on that fire? And I said, you can do anything you want to. And you did it. I was so proud of you. Your message is amazing. So, ladies and Gideon, I don't know if anyone have a question for beautiful Jazeri. You are welcome to unmute yourself and ask her.
If you,
Giovanni?
yes,
I just want to say congratulations to you.
thank you. Thank you.
You're a trooper. Congratulations.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So
Yeah.
for me, in order to be able to be permanently in New Zealand, I had a mission. I had a goal. I had to lose a lot of weight. And I did lose the weight. I lost 75 kilograms, 165 pounds. But my goal was to be permanently in New Zealand, to be with my grandson Xander. My plan name was Omi and Xander Plan. But COVID happened. So I could not come to New Zealand. So while you say, Jazri, your goal can shift. So my goal to work permanently in New Zealand for a company didn't work, didn't come out. But now I'm working for the world. It sounds like instead of one country, I am inspiring all the people around the world. So yes, my dream was this, but God has put even more on it. I didn't even imagine. I want to read something. I just need my glasses before I'm going to give it to Gideon. So I heard this for the first time when it was our President Nelson Mandela's, and I'm going to struggle with this word, inauguration. Is that right? Oh, wow. I was like, oh, please, God, help me pronounce it, because I do struggle with some words, as English is not my first language. But in 1994, he read this. I thought it came from him, but actually this poem came from Marianne Robertson. So if you will allow me to read this, this is beautiful. And I use this in my speech, but I never can say it. I had to read it so that I don't miss anything. So if you can hold on for me, ladies and Gideon, here I go. Our Deepest Fear, a poem by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, not good enough. I'm so sorry for that. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frighten us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You playing small doesn't serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make magnificence, the glory of God that is within us. So that is like amazing. And I just want to say thank you so much, my beautiful Jazzy, for your inspiration. I cannot wait for you to come and do the 20 minutes, my beautiful one, the 20 minutes. I'm going to go then over to Gideon. So Gideon was the person that have contacted me. I'm normally, if I'm fascinated by somebody, I send a friend request and I want to find out. I normally pray over it and then I go for it. I go for it. I will say, could you come and inspire us on the Diamond Beauties? I've got almost for the whole year, I've got gentlemen that will come and inspire us. But Gideon, you've sent a friend request to me, and then I looked at your face. I didn't investigate what you do. I looked at your face and I felt this warmthness, this love, not only for yourself, but for family and people, serving people. And then we had a virtual coffee. Wow. Amazeballs. I love Gideon. So Gideon, please tell us, why did you see me? And then if you can just inspire us. Thank you so much. Gideon, you're on mute.
Alrighty, can you hear me now? Fantastic. All right, guys. So good evening or good morning or good afternoon, wherever you might be in the world. And Val, thanks again for inviting me onto this forum. To be quite honest with you, it's been a while. I absolutely love public speaking, but because of COVID and all the rubbish that has happened, I haven't had the opportunity to be in the public domain and being in front of people. So this is really amazing to be spending time with you guys and maybe just share one or two thoughts with you. Something that came into my life 25, 26 years ago, and it made a huge difference for me. And today is all about, paying it forward a little bit, and maybe just if I can inspire somehow someone else's words in my own words, that can maybe make a difference in your life. It's absolutely amazing. So, Sanet, I actually saw a video of yours that was recorded while you were busy with the NLP training. And Dion asked quite a few questions. And then I thought, well, let me make contact with you because you look like the kind of person that I need to hang out with. And you will understand why I say that in a little while. And so if you don't mind, I'm gonna come back to and answer that question a little bit more in detail a little bit later on. I've prepared a few slides and I just want to share a few things for you guys. If you don't mind, I'm going to just share my screen. Let me just get my screen here. Here we go. Fantastic. I hope you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Fantastic. Alrighty. Just going to move this that way. Great stuff. So I just want to make this out of the way. Aha, there we go. Fantastic. It's now big, right?
Yes, it's perfect now. The presenter's here.
Brilliant.
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. All right, guys. So, the first thing I want you to when Sanet asked me to talk about success, I thought to myself, well, 20 minutes is never going to be enough to talk about success, right? So I'm going to just share with you a few tips or a few things that was shared with me 26 years ago when I started my personal development journey. I grew up in a very conservative home. Grew up in an Afrikaans environment. I had very strict rules and regulations. And after school, I followed my dad's plan. That was to, get a good job and get a good education, and you will be able to live your dreams. And very early on in my career, I realized that I was never, ever going to be able to live my dreams, right? I wanted to see the world. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to experience all the exotic things that life has got to offer. And I realized that working for someone else, I was never, ever going to be able to do that. So I quit my chosen career, started my own business, but I failed horribly. In fact, I lost everything in the process. And you can just imagine going back to my family and friends. They told me, yeah, we told you that was going to happen. Go back and find yourself a decent job. And I said, you know what? Thanks for that. Thanks for the advice, but I'm not going to follow your advice because you guys are not going to be able to. If I ask you right now, pay my bills for me, you will not be in a position to do that. So if I listen to you, I'm going to end up just like you. And that was huge. That was huge. That was a big mind shift that I had to make. And I realized that in order to be successful and to be where I want to be, I need to change. Nothing else, I need to change. So in other words, for things to change, I need to change. And when I made that realization, I thought to myself, wow, so I don't have to come from a fortune family. I don't have to be born into a certain family. I don't have to have certain skills. I don't have to have, certain character traits to be successful in life. I just need to change myself, and I need to align myself with whatever I want. So that was the first realization that I made, was that success is in your hands. If you want change, if you want success, all you need to do is you need to align yourself with that success or with that change. Right. So guys, the next thing, this is my motto. This is something that I live off every single day. It is, oops, sorry, I just want to go back there. The question is, if you wake up in the morning, do you repeat the same day over and over and over and over again? So Monday is Tuesday, is Wednesday, is Thursday, is Friday, is Saturday, is Sunday, and then again it's Monday. And guess what? When you look back, there was nothing different in those 7 days. They were all the same. So often when I speak to people, that's exactly what they're experiencing. They kind of like get despondent because everything that they do is exactly the same. But the reason why it's the same is because you're not trying to be better the next day. You just let circumstances rule your life. And I'm going to come back and share one big secret with you a little bit later on, but I want you to make a note of this. That if you want to break the cycle of where you're at right now, you want to transform your life. You want to transform your health, your wealth, your relationships. You want to create clarity in your life. You want to have a new direction. You need to try and beat yesterday. You need to try and do 1% better, even if it's just 1%. Imagine that, guys. 1% better every single day. After 7 days, you're 7% better. After 30 days, you're 30% better. And after 100 days, you are 100% better. For things to change, you need to change. And for things to get better, you need to get better. So what is success? Well, I think I said it a little bit earlier on when Val was on. You know, success means so many different things for so many different people. And I spoke to a friend of mine the other day, and we talked about, you know, visiting some exotic, wonderful places around the world. And he started asking me questions, and I could give him real life examples, and I could take my cell phone out and I can show him some pictures, and I could see that he was just completely lost in my world. And I thought to myself, why is he not responding differently? He's like in a daze. And I asked him eventually, I said to him, but why are you not, you know, you wanted to do this and you wanted to see all these places, and now I'm sharing that with you. He said, you know what, I just realized that I've wasted so much time not going after what I want in life. I've just basically given up on my dreams and goals in life. So what is success? For many people, there's different formulas, different formulations, different ideas around success. You need to find what success is for you. And the magic is, for me, success is where you focus your energy. So the moment you start focusing your energy on one specific thing, you will see that one specific thing will expand and it will grow and it will become more. And the interesting thing about life is how you do one thing is how you do absolutely everything in your life. So if you are a kind human and you like to help people and you like to give back to people, it will show up in every aspect of your life. And it's very difficult to change that vibration if you are already heading in one direction. If some areas of your life is not in line with that direction, you need to look at where you're focusing your energy. And I'm going to use an example. So, you know, usually this works a little bit better in a live environment, but for those of you that's listening in later, or for those of you that's listening in tonight, I want you to do something. I want you to quickly close your eyes. Just quickly close your eyes, please. And I want you to not think of a pink elephant. All right? It's impossible, right? It's impossible. You can open your eyes, guys. It's impossible not to think of a pink elephant. So what I mean by that is, if you are focusing your energy on, I don't want to think about a pink elephant, guess what? You're going to think about an elephant. So you've got to be very careful with where you put your energy, where you put your focus, and what you do with your thoughts every single day. If you want to go in a certain direction and there's a negative thought that comes into your mind, you need to catch that thought and you need to replace it with something different. So let's quickly ask you this question. Maybe you can answer this for yourself. Which one requires more energy? A step forward or one step back? One step forward or one step back? Which one requires more energy? The answer is they both require the same amount of energy. So why don't you just put it in the direction that you want to go into? Right? If you want to go forward, you want to beat yesterday, then just put your energy into that forward. Don't even think about the back. Just think about moving forward. So, guys, I'm going to share with you my secret to success. And yes, this is something that was taught to me 26 years ago. So I'm just paying it forward. It's not my ideas or my thoughts, but it is the way I've been able to design my life in the last 25, 26 years. And if you look at your success in your life right now, and you add everything together, your health, your wealth, your relationships, everything that you've achieved up until now, and maybe you want to get more success or more results, or you want to change wherever you are right now, is it fair to say that just for the purpose of this example, you want 90% better results, or you want 90% better success? Maybe you want to be, you want to shape up, you want to be more healthy, maybe you want to have more money, maybe you want to have more impact on more people's lives. So 90% better results. But now we need to say, what do you think controls your results? the results that you've got right now is as a result of something. And I know if I ask everybody on this call and everybody around the world, what do they think influences our results? I will get, every single person will have a different answer. But for the purpose of this illustration and for this call tonight, I want to share with you my understanding. So in order for me to get better results of where I want to go, if I want to evolve, if I want to beat yesterday, I want 90% better results, what do I need to change? I need to change my actions. The way I act will impact my results. So if I want 90% better results, I need to change my actions by 90%. Easy. It is so easy. If you really think about it. If I want different results, I need to change my actions. Now, here is the million-dollar question. What controls the way we act? I'm sure, again, there's going to be a lot of different questions, a lot of different ideas that's going to come up. But for the sake of tonight's call, I'm going to say that our attitude towards everything in life impacts our actions. If you wake up in the morning and go, oh my goodness, I am not in a mood, it's raining outside, I'm not in a mood to go and do another 5K run or a 5K walk, you know, your attitude stinks. So in other words, the moment your attitude stinks, your actions will follow. And as a result of that, you will be stuck with the results that you are getting. So again, if you want different results, you need to change your actions by 90%. But then you need to also change your attitude by 90% because your attitude will impact your actions. Right. Now, guys, I'm almost at the secret, right? The number one secret that helps you, that will take you to where you want to be. Okay? What controls our attitude? Aha, Sanet, I think you've got it, right? It is our thinking. The way we think about everything in life controls our attitude, controls our actions, and ultimately gives us the results that we are experiencing. But here's the secret, guys. Here is the secret. I'm finally going to reveal it to you. It was given to me 26 years ago. What controls the way you think? What controls the way you think? And it is your environment. Right. Your environment controls the way you think. Your thinking controls your attitude controls your actions, and that ultimately brings your results. Success or failure is only a small few things that you do every single day that you repeat over and over and over again that will either bring you success, or a few mistakes that you repeat over and over and over again that will bring you failure. So if you want change in your life, you want success in your life, you need to change your environment. Now, environment is made up of two things. It's the inner environment and the outer environment. Your thoughts, you know, what do you listen to, what you read, who you associate with, the programs, the courses, everything that you do has an impact on your thinking. And also the environment, the people that you associate with on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. So in closing, I want you to really think about this. If you hang out with 5 idiots, you will be the 6th one. If you hang out with 5 negative people about everything in life, you will be the 6th one. If you hang out with 5 positive, amazing, unbelievable, seriously wealthy, successful in everything they do people, you will be the 6th one. You need to decide what environment you're going to hang out in. And tonight and today, you've changed your environment. You came on this call, you changed your environment. For a moment, you switched off the news. You started listening to something that could add value to your life. And if we start doing that on a continuous basis, we're going to evolve. Every day we're going to make 1% better decisions. Our thinking is going to change by 1%. Our attitude is going to change. Our actions is going to change. And ultimately, our results and our success will follow as a result of that. So, Sanet, that's what I wanted to share tonight. I'm going to stop my share of my screen. That's it from me. Is there any questions or anything that I can answer for anybody?
Yes, Fatima, you've got a question. You're welcome to put yourself on camera if you would like to and unmute, or you can just unmute.
Hi everyone.
Hi, Fatima.
Hi there.
Welcome here.
Um, Thank you. Yeah, so I've typed it out already. Do you think your external environment is always within your control?
Yes. Absolutely yes. Give me an example of your environment that you are referring to.
Well, I guess I would say society and community. Yeah, like it, yeah, society and community.
Who chooses to go into your society and into your community? Who chooses to, go to the church that you go to, or go to your family functions? Who chooses to go to that? Give me a more concrete answer, because example now, because I'm a little bit slow on thinking of a few examples. But who chooses to go into those environments?
Okay, yeah, you're correct. We choose it eventually. Like the individual chooses the environment.
Absolutely.
But I also
So
feel I don't want to like start a debate, but
yeah.
I think if you're used to a certain environment, it's easier to adapt to that environment. And yeah.
So you become the average of your environment. If there's nothing
Yes.
and nobody in your environment that challenges you, and everybody in your environment say, "Oh, you're amazing, don't worry,
Yeah.
everything's going to be okay. Eat another, whatever. If you want to lose weight, just have another slice of cake, no problem. Next week you can do, that is not challenging you. That is just making you the average of the environment."
Yeah, completely.
Right. So something else that you maybe, a lot of people nowadays, they do these Netflix series. They switch on the TV and they would watch the whole entire series, right? I've done it myself as well, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay. You just watch the whole thing, and then, you switch it off, and it's 10 hours down the line, and you go, what was that all about? Who just dictated your environment or your thinking for that 10 hours? The television program. And 2 weeks down the line, you cannot remember a thing from that series. You watched it for 10 hours. It had your attention for 10 hours, but it did not add any value to your life. It just repeated the cycle. It just spent time recklessly. You didn't invest it into anything. You just wasted the time. Does it make sense? So the moment you find out exactly what you want to do is, let's say for instance, I'm just going to use an example. Let's say you want to make $10,000 a month. You need to go.
Sorry, Gideon, I've got a beautiful example for Fatima.
Go for it.
If you will allow me. So for me, in order to do this thing, I had to change everything. Even the color. My favorite color was red. I was so extreme. I changed it to orange. Lifestyle. There was no turning back, because I was on diets for all my life. I will be 58 this year. And this is the last 4 years. I started with my journey on the 6th of April 2019. I was 12 years old. I heard the sister said when I went for my tonsillitis, "You are a fatty boom boom." I was already 12 years old. I was teased because of my big bum. I had to change everything. I even started my diet on a Sunday, because I always started on a Monday. And by Thursday, I didn't continue. And I have made small and big milestones for myself. But I knew exactly what I wanted to change, because I do the dreaming part. And then I just go for it, Michael, because in life is so short. And if I didn't go through to do that, I will never be where I am today. So sorry for this interruption, Gideon, but I
No,
thought
no
we'll
worries.
give you a real
No,
life
thank you. Thank
thing
you for that.
because it was hard. Can I tell you something? My forever song is Walking on Sunshine. And I had to stand in front of the mirror. I normally, when I do the anchoring, I anchor a word in for you. So mine was self-love. I had to stand in front of the mirror, do my anchoring part, and tell myself, dance if there's no tomorrow, and then tell myself, Sanet, do you still feel like a chocolate? And one time I had to do it 3 times. Go and dance and come back to the mirror and say, Sanet, do you still feel like a chocolate? And I said, yes. I said, I'm sorry, my girl. Go and dance until it is no. I had to be very strict with myself because it's easy to give up. It's easy to say, oh, tomorrow is another day. For me, tomorrow was not another day because I had only 20 months to lose about 62 kilograms. So I had a certain thing. I was first too fat for New Zealand, and then I was too old. Now I'm too old for New Zealand. So there was no point of return. It's like when you stop smoking. If you start have a small whatever, I don't know how a cigarette or something, you have to count from day one again. You cannot count for 2 years you didn't smoke now, then you must count. So it is the same with me. I changed my diet. I'm sorry, my grandchildren are still here. I had to change everything. And that's how extreme I did it. But can I tell you, it is like this, like Gideon said. Because if you made that decision, you have did your dreaming and you know your why is big enough. You can change anything. You will change everything. So, Gideon, I'm going to give it back to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, look, I'm going to wrap it up. There's a few things that you can do. Remember, whatever you focus your energy on will expand and will grow, right? So if you look at your bank balance and you say, oh well, I can't afford it this month, then catch that negative thought and say to yourself, I'm looking forward to the day that I can afford this. There's so many different things that you can do. Put yourself in an environment where people actually challenge you to do things. You challenge yourself. If there's not an environment where people do it for you, then start looking for mentors. Start looking for people that has already done it, that wrote a book, or that's got an audio series, or someone that offers a free seminar online. There's millions and millions of things on YouTube. And instead of watching these soap operas on television or listening to the radio, put something in that will change the way you think. So change your environment every single day. It will change the way you think. It will change your attitude. It will change your actions, and ultimately will bring you the success that you want. And when you start vibrating and when you start focusing your energy on only what you want, remember this example. Don't think of a pink elephant. Guess what? Your mind doesn't know that you don't want a Uno. Your brain doesn't know that you don't want to stay in a 1-bedroom apartment. Your brain doesn't know that you don't want to have a loser for a husband or a partner. Your brain only knows one thing, and that's I want to have a loving this relationship. I want to drive a red Ferrari with black leather seats. Only focus on the things that you want, because that will add value and that will add energy on the thing that you need, and it will create an incredible amount of focus in your life. That's it from me, Sanet. Everybody, thank you so much. It was awesome to be on the call. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Gideon. And thank you for sending me a friend request and letting me have a virtual coffee, because I think you are amazing. And we actually had this virtual coffee in October already. And I said to him, will you come and talk to that same day on success? And he was like, I said, I just got it in my heart for you to come and share your beautiful story. And you did. Thank you so much. So my beautiful ladies, is 1 minute after the hour. We're gonna do a dance off. So I want to say, For the ladies at Jayashree, for your friends that you invited, you are welcome to invite them to the Diamond Beauties. Or ladies, you can send me a friend request on Facebook and I will invite you to the Diamond Beauty. There's a lot of inspiration going on there. There's a lot of stuff going on there. So please, you are so welcome to join us as a private women's group. That's the one thing I want to mention. Then I want to say thank you so much for being here, Giovanna, Fatima, Mel, Maddie, and my beautiful Ronnie, all the way from the UK. Gideon, thank you so much for inspiring us. Jayashree, thank you so much for inviting your friends and inspire us. I am going to stop the recording